Hi my little shardies, welcome and welcome back. This is Christina with Shhh Art Online. I hope you guys have had a fabulous week. Today I'm going to be doing a color along out of Christine Karron's brand new book, Characters Through Worlds and Times. It's the grayscale version, and I'm going to be doing this cowgirl image right here. I printed the image on Strathmore colored pencil paper. If you're interested in the other images out of this book, I have a complete flip through on my channel, and I'll leave a link right here. Alright, without further ado, let's get this thing started. Alright, I'm hoping everyone can see this okay. I wanted to go ahead and leave the line here from when I copied it. I didn't want to pull the original image out of the book, so I just copied it while it was still in the book. So I have that line. I'm just going to incorporate it into my background. And I think I'm going to start with my base layer as 997, and I'm just going to put it everywhere for the skin tone. So everywhere skin is showing, I'm going to put a really light layer. I'm barely pressing on this paper. And I'm going to hold this up every once in a while so you guys get a better view of it. It's actually a little bit darker than that in person, but we'll go with that for now. So that's my base layer. I'm going to come in really dark now with Clay Rose 1017, and I'm going to add that to this shadow area under her neck. I'm barely touching the paper. I'm just trying to get a little bit of color down. And I'm going to come up under her hat, and I'm going to do the same thing. A little bit here on her nose. Remember, if it's not dark enough, you can always add more later. So right now I'm again just doing nice shallow layers, nice soft layers. And I just realized that I didn't do her eyes, so I'm going back in with a 997, putting some skin tone in her eyes. Right. I'm going to come in with Nectar 1092. And I'm going to highlight some of her cheek. And under her chin, I'm blending right into the Clay Rose. Alright, now I'm going to come back in with my Beige 997 again, and I'm going to go ahead and put another layer, pressing down a little bit more now. Alright, so we put another layer on. I'm going to come back in again with the 1092 Nectar. I'm just trying to like kind of brighten it up a little bit. I know no matter how dark I think I make this, when I start doing her hair and stuff, it's not going to be dark enough. I'm also aware that the camera is muting this out a little bit. Let me see if I can fix that. All right, I'm going to come in again with some of the Clay Rose 1017. And again, I'm going to darken up the neck area. And I'm going to come in again with 1092 Nectar. And I'm blending right into that Clay Rose yet again. All right, I'm going to put a little bit of lip color on there. I don't think I'm going to go too dark. I'm going to go kind of natural. And I'm going to use some of the colors I've already used. So I'm going to come in with Clay Rose 1017. And I'm going to kind of go to the darker areas first. And you can just follow where the artist has the darker colors. Like the darker shading like you can see here. That would be the follow the shadows that way. And then here would be like highlights. So that's what I'm doing on grayscale. That's typically what you would do. The artist kind of gives you an idea on where they think the highlights and shadows are. That's what makes grayscale kind of fun. I'm going to throw in some 1018 Pink Rose. And let's do her eyes. Debating between green and blue. Okay, so I'm going to take some indigo blue and I'm going to go where the darkest areas are on the eyes with that. Kind of like along the top here. And I'm going to come in with PC906. And I'm going to add a little bit of 1024 Blue Slate. And I'm going to come back in again with my 906, and I'm just going to darken above that. All right, I'm going to use 1094 Sandbar Brown, and I'm going to go into the darkest areas of the hat here. And I'm lightening up as I come into this lighter area. All right, now I'm going to use Ginger Root, which is PC1084. And I'm just blending right into the Sandbar Brown. All right, this is 1085 Peach Beige. And I'm going to come back in with Sandbar Brown, which is 1094. And this is 1085 Peach Beige. And 1084 Ginger Root. And now I'm going to come in with some 941 Light Umber. Coming in again with some 1085 Peach Beige. I'm just going to fill in this little spot here. And again, some 941 Light Umber. Just give it a little bit more definition. I think that looks pretty good for now, so I'm going to go ahead and come in, and I think I'm going to do her jacket the same way I colored her hat. So I'm going to use 1094 Sandbar Brown. And like her hat, I'm just going to go ahead and hit the darker areas, the shadowed areas in this image. Now I'm coming in with some 1084 ginger root. Alright, I'm going to come in again with some 1094 Sandbar brown. Just darken this up a little bit. And some PC1084 ginger root. Alright, now I'm going to come in with PC1082 Chocolate, and I'm going to start her hair. I've showed you guys how to do hair before. I'm just doing like flicking strokes. All right, now I'm going to come in with 945 Sienna Brown, and I'm just going to go right into that previous color, which was the 1082 Chocolate. And again, I'm trying to do kind of flicking strokes. And I'm leaving a little area for some natural highlights. And now I'm going to come into the areas where I think they're a little washed out and do some darker strokes. All right, guys, I think that looks really good. So I'm going to bring in a little bit of 948 Sepia in and around the hat line. Alright, I think I'm going to bring the blue from her eyes into the bandana around her neck. So I'm going to use the same three colors, which are PC901 Indigo Blue, PC1024 Blue Slate, and PC906 Copenhagen Blue. And I'm going to start with my 901 Indigo Blue, and I'm going to go right into where Christine Karron has put the darkest. I'm not pressing down really hard, I'm just doing a really light layer. Now I'm going to come in with some 906 Copenhagen Blue, and I'm going to blend right into that indigo. And now I'm going to go back in with my PC901 Indigo, and I'm going to darken it up. Alright, I'm going to come in again with my 906 Copenhagen Blue. And I'm going to follow it up now with my 1024 Blue Slate. I'm just blending right into that Copenhagen Blue. Now you can leave it like this, or you can take a blender pencil and blend it out. I'm going to add a little bit more of this 1024 in here, just to make sure that it's the way I like it. I think I kind of like it is, so I'm going to leave it alone. Okay, let me show you guys what I have so far. I think it looks pretty good. Okay, for the hair ties, I think I'm going to use 1082 Chocolate Brown. Same color I did in her hair. And now some 943 burnt ochre. I didn't color this right here, so I'm going to go ahead and use some chocolate brown for that. And for the buttons, we're going to use some 951 20% warm gray. And 1056 70% warm gray. And then on the brim of her hat, you can either leave it like it is or come in with some 941 burnt sienna. I'm just going to follow this along the brim line here. And now I'm going to come in with my trusty white Posca pen and add some highlights. And I think I want to add something to the background here. I'm not going to do a whole lot. I think I'm going to use some distress inks. I have tea dye and vintage photo, and I'm going to start with the tea dye. And now I'm going to switch on over to the vintage photo. I want to help give it a little bit more depth. I love how this molted background looks really nice. Well, there you have it. I post every Friday. Sometimes I put a bonus video in between. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you did, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe and turn on those notifications so you're told each and every time I post a new video. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, color happy, and remember, shh, it's our little secret.